Good morning, everybody. My name is Jared O'Leary. I've been drumming since 1998, and I still got plenty of stuff to work on. Today, I'm going to be practicing limb independence. Now, in these practice streams, there's over 460 of them on my YouTube channel's home tab. All of them have timestamps in the description to show what I was practicing, whether it's technique or tenors or limb independence or whatever, as well as what kind of question I was answering in the various chats that I have up on my other monitor. Think of this like office hours. I'm here to practice, and if you have questions, then I'm happy to answer them. I will often edit those answers and put them in this drumming tips playlist that has well over 100 videos and over 15 hours of free drumming tips inside of here. The first thing that I talk about in a video is whatever the title is, and then if it says and other drumming tips or and other teaching tips, that means there are more tips inside of there that are not related to the title. So if the title doesn't interest you, check the timestamps. There might be something else that is of interest. Now, on my home tab of YouTube, there's over 2,000 free play-alongs that you can use to practice. I'm going to be using some of those in a minute. You'll find, however, over 600 of them listed as members first, like this one. They're all scheduled to release for free. For example, this one comes out on Friday. So if you want early access to it, it's 99 cents, and all you have to do is click the join button, and then that gives you all 600 plus videos for 99 cents. But otherwise, I promise they're all coming out for free, and there's still over 2,000 of them currently available to you if you are interested in that. Now, because I'm not good at limb independence yet, I need Shia LaBeouf here to help motivate me. So we are going to have the great sage, the great motivator, Shia LaBeouf, help me to get ready to practice limb independence. Oh, got to restart him. Here we go, Shia, help me. Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success. Well, you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not gonna stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it! Just do it! Yes, you can! Just do it! If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Wow, everybody's so motivated thanks to the great sage, Shia LaBeouf. Ooh, one more flex for good luck. Now, the thing that I'm practicing is limb independence. What I've done on these recent streams over the last year is I've gone through this book. It's called 50 Ways to Syncopation by Dom Moyle. It's got over 50 ways to practice limb independence using the 20 charts in Dom's book or the 55 charts that are on my YouTube channel's home tab. Now, the way that I'm working on limb independence, or interdependence, as Gary Chester calls it, is largely based off of the ideas in this, as well as some things that I've learned in concert percussion, rudimental, etc. So, I've taken Dom's book, The 50 Ways to Syncopation, and I put it in this spreadsheet. This spreadsheet keeps track of how I'm doing on average across all these different limb independence variations. So column A is like, on average, how am I doing? So all the ones that are technically proficient and musical are ones that I'm skipping. So for example, your basic ging, 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 ging on the hi-hat with, or on the ride with hi-hat on 2 and 4. Playing eighth notes on the snare drum and anything longer than that on the bass drum. You can see here's the most recent times that I played through this. It keeps track of the BPM, the quality of my playing, and how I felt after playing it. And on average, is technically proficient. In these streams, I've gone through all of these, and I've sat and worked on the ones that are not good, like meh, or needs a lot of work. And I've graduated through all of them up to right here. So the one that I'm working on today that I'm going to use as a warm-up is this one that is on the screen. Now, the last time that I played through this, 2 days ago, I played it at 110, and then for fun, I was like, well, what happens if I go to 140? So today, what I'm going to do is kind of go in between those two, and I'm going to start at 125. So the thing that I'm playing, this one requires a little explanation. So normally when you're playing like a ride pattern, like a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2. Okay, so this is as 16th notes. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. But what if you took that exact same pattern, didn't change anything with the hand, but instead changed the feel for it, the meter? So we're going to make this into a triplet pattern instead of 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, So instead of da 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 da, something like this, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, we're going da 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 la la la. Okay, we're gonna play that in the ride pattern. While we have hi-hat on 2 and 4, and I'm gonna read through eighth notes on the snare drum. Anything longer than an eighth note will be on the bass drum. So we're going to do this using the charts on my home tab of YouTube. Also found in the link that's here. So jaredoleary.com/drum. It's at the top of the screen. This takes you to here. It's linked at the top of each one of the thousands of free play-alongs. Everything on here is organized neater than I can on YouTube, but it's the exact same content. So if you want to stay on YouTube, totally cool. You can do that. But if you want things organized neater, go here. So the chop exercises, there's 80 of them at the moment. Stay tuned for some more. There's over 1,000 grid variations, a bunch for triplet, for 16th note, some wacky ones like hurt to grid. This is where I'm practicing today. It's all the limb independent stuff. I'll show you that in a second. There's almost 500 marching bass drum stuff. I'd highly recommend focusing on these timing playlists at the bottom. And then once you get those down, work on the splits timing. But again, there's a few hundred of them, so it'll keep you busy for a long time. There's some drumline cadences and score format. There's over 200 sight reading exercises. These are currently listed as members first because I've got, over a 600 videos that are scheduled. And then there's a bunch of technique exercises. There's over 400 of them right here. Anarchy. So you're asking about how to improve your paradiddle speed. I've actually got a video for you that's inside of here. So inside of the lesson section, there's all these like scripted videos, but there's also the drumming tips. I'll show you how to do this since you're on YouTube. If you go to the home tab here, whoop. If you scroll down, all the way down to the tips and lessons section, under the drumming tips, there's a drumming tip that came out, a couple weeks ago, and a month ago. It's called Your Rudiments Are Slow Because of This. So number 106. So at the start of this, I talk about how to speed up your paradiddle. So this video is actually the exact question that you're asking right now, how to speed up paradiddles. So watch this one. Drumming tip number 106. The first part of here talks about how to speed up rudiments, and then the next part talks about how to speed up singles, and then the next part talks about how to speed up flam fives. So there's broken down in different sections in here, but the very first one answers your question. But as is a great question, and I hope that helps you out here. Okay, now I am going to warm up with the limb independence, playing this wacky 3/4 pattern. It's a straight ride pattern over a swung part. Wacky. So I'm going into the limb independence section here, and there's all these permutations. There's also all these charts, and I'm doing swung charts, and I'm going to play it at 125. So I'm going to go inside of swung drum charts from 100 to 159, and I'm going to just pick, 11 through 15 sounds great. Inside of all these thousands of free play-alongs, you can find timestamps to jump to a specific BPM. I want to play this at 125, so I'm going to click on 125, and then it gets me a little bit of a few seconds to get myself set up, and then it counts off. You can't hear it on your end because it's muted. There's like a sync delay, but it's there. Okay, so this is the ostinato. It's a pattern that is straight, that just keeps going, and we're going to read eighth notes on the snare, everything else on the bass. Cool, not bad. A month ago, could not play this. Progress. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and... So I had some issues with the hi-hat coming in slightly early, as well as slightly late. I'm trying to adjust that. It's on 4 where it was happening. 1, 2, here we go. Sweet. That was better for the hi-hat. It fits in between the ride. Right there. On 4. Here we go. No! Broke a little bit, messed up the ride pattern, but was able to get back into it after a couple measures. But overall, not bad. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. That's a fun one. Okay. Huge progress. From where we started with this, if we go back on the spreadsheet, let's keep a track of it. Like it was, needs a lot of work for quite some time. And now, on average, it's technically proficient. At least for the last few. It hasn't switched over yet. So again, column A, keeping track of everything, it's going to switch over when it, like, let's say there's 4 times where it needs a lot of work. Once it gets to the 5th time of technically proficient, then it'll switch over. And then I officially graduate from this and I add it into the rotation of stuff to just kind of review rather than to sit and practice. So we just use that as a warm-up. I had fun with it, and it was mostly technically proficient go through it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch and massage, and then I'm going to sit and work on this one, which is way more difficult. Similar idea, 3/4 pattern, but this time with a Soca hi-hat feel. And I'll paste it in here so you can kind of see it, give you a preview, little taste of what's to come. But now I'm going to stretch and massage, and then we'll get back into the limb independent stuff here in a moment. So the first one stretches the sides of my forearms, and it feels great. So I'm just going to sit here with this for a little while. And to get out of this one, you just go back out the way that you came. Next, I'm going to do a stretch that stretches the underside of the forearm. So I'm just pulling back, so stretching along here. And this one feels really good right now. Don't pull too hard. You can also do this one on a wall. The lower you go, the deeper the stretch, as opposed to up here like this. Now switch to the other side. That feels good. You might need to sit and hold these a little bit longer than me or less time. It depends on how your forearms are feeling. Every day is going to be different. The next one I'm going to do stretches the top side of the forearm, so it's basically the opposite. You're just pulling it towards you. To go twice as fast, I'm just going to go ahead and do this on my legs. So like this. Dee, 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 dee. And now I'm going to stretch the fingers, thumb to thumb. Goes twice as fast doing it this way. There's a video under the drumming lessons playlist on my home tab of YouTube that is called This Hand Routine Saved My Drumming, and gives you better camera angles with some explanations, as well as some extra stretches if you do rotary motions like Stevens grip or traditional grip. But because I don't do those rotary motions anymore, I don't do those stretches. But it helps. Back when I used to march traditional and back when I used to play marimba, I would do those daily. So check out that video. Again, it's called This Hand Routine Saved My Drumming. It's under the drumming lessons playlist. I have to like be very specific which playlist because, you know, there's over 2,000 drumming videos on my home tab, so hard to navigate. Okay, now I'm done with my stretches. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick massage on the forearm. My thumb is on top, my fingers are underneath, massage on the underside. And I'll switch it around. Depending on how I'm feeling, I might need to massage my biceps, my tricep. If you do traditional grip or rotary motions, again, like Stevens grip, your bicep moves up and down. It's not a strength thing, it's a speed thing. So your bicep might actually be a little bit sore. So that might be something to massage more than I am demonstrating. But again, everybody's anatomy is different. And everybody's different in terms of, what did you do the last few days that may have caused tension in your upper body or in your forearms or in your toes or whatever. All right, next what I'm going to do is massage the palm with the thumb, and the fingers massage the back side of the hand. And just kind of work my way around. Again, massaging the back side with the fingers. Thumbs massaging. Palm. And then the final massage is from base to tip of each one of the fingers. At least 2 times. So you massage from here to here, just kind of wiggle your way down. Massaging. At least twice. Sometimes thrice. Depends on how your fingers are feeling. And this is the end of the stretch and massage routine. It doesn't take long, but it keeps your hands nice and healthy. I've been drumming for almost 30 years now. And I'm 40 years old, so, you know, the fact that I'm still able to hit notes is a good thing. If you want to be drumming when you're 40 as well, or when you're older, keep your hands healthy. Do this routine daily. There's a reason why I demonstrate it every day on stream, even though it takes a couple minutes of time. It's worth it. Okay, so again, the pattern that I'm working on, I can't even play yet with the charts. Like the 2 days ago, first time trying it on stream, and it didn't go good. So we're going to work on permutations, and then we'll try and get to the charts that we were just playing through. I did, what, charts 11 through 15? But there's 55 of them, so we'll just kind of pick some charts to try and improve. Now, the pattern that I'm working on is a Soca pattern. So the Soca pattern, you're going to go 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and, 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and, buckets, 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 buckets. So normally when you do a Soca, you'd have like bass drum on like 1. On the downbeat, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Okay, but instead of playing 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and, we're going buckets, 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 triplet, 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 buckets, 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 okay? So we're going to shift it around. So instead of playing 16th notes, we're going to play triplets, and it'll sound the exact same way that we were playing it as 16th notes, but now it's triplets. And it's a straight triplet pattern while playing a swung 8th note on the snare and bass drum on anything longer than the 8th note, okay? So we did it at 100. I'm going to go back to my home tab. Whee! And I'm going to work on permutations. So if we go to the limb independence section, oh, let me just show you this. So under the lessons, this is where that this hand routine saved my drumming. It's here, this one. Pain-free drumming. This hand routine saved my drumming. That's the one that shows you like how I'm doing the stretch and massage routine, as well as some of the stretches I didn't demonstrate. So check that out if you want to keep your hands healthy, which I highly recommend. So again, in the limb independence section, all of these playlists that are inside of here, all link to the second video, which is how to develop limb independence on the drum kit. This one, it's drumming tips number 50. There's well over 100 of those now, but number 50 is where I talk about that. And I'm gonna work on swung versions of these patterns. Even though the thing that I'm playing on the hi-hat is technically a straight pattern, I'm playing swung on the snare and the bass. It's weird. You'll see. Okay, so I don't know if I can just go into this cold. We'll find out. Wish me luck. So I'm going to try and play, again, swung eighth notes on the snare, everything else on the bass drum. 1, 2, ready, and... Okay, I'm gonna do that again. I kept hitting my stick because I have to play the snare loud because the drum trigger doesn't always pick it up. Okay, so the way that I'm working on this, I'm trying to do a stick over stick crossover, so we have this continuing, and then I'm trying to like not hit the stick, but sometimes it's happening because this trigger on a mesh head doesn't work too good. That's what happens when you get a cheaper trigger. But another way you could do it is like a hand over hand, so a wrist over wrist if you wanted to, depending on how you're set up. But the way that I'm doing is this, and unfortunately, it's sometimes hitting there, which, you know, makes the rhythms a little wonky sometimes. All right, so that was variation 1. I'm just going to go ahead and go to the next one. Again, I'm doing the swung versions because the snare and the bass are swung, while the hi-hat is a straight 3/4 feel. I would not recommend starting here. This is a more advanced limb independence variation to work on. Start with something much more basic than this. If this seems impossible, go back like a month ago when I started working on this, and you'll see just how bad I was playing it. 1, 2, ready, and... do it one more time. Hi-hat was too open. Oops. Screwed up the hi-hat on that last measure of the threes. Cool. Let's go to the next one. So that was variation 3. I'm going to do, or 2. I'm going to go to 3. 3 and 4 I'll get through, and then I'm going to start reading some charts, which is not going to go good. But if I sit with it long enough, give my brain more time to process it, then hopefully after like 20 or so minutes, I'll be able to read through it, which then will ideally transfer over into the next section. And if you're not familiar with my background, so like this is like research based. So I've taught every grade kindergarten through doctoral student. So I like have read a lot of research on like skill acquisition, expertise. I can't even say the word. I know what I'm talking about, I swear. So this is not just me winging it here. This process I've done with students, I've done with myself, I've done it on stream. It works. It just takes time. It's a grind, but you're literally training your brain to think in a new way. And if you sit with it, then you'll get results. So the threes, I accidentally played this as a snare instead of a bass drum. Whoopsies. And then right here, like I had a little hiccup rhythmically in the hi-hat pattern. I'm so sorry. Unsub. I understand. Can't make mistakes. All right, let's try it again. 101. Woo! 2, ready, and... Why didn't it play the sound? Okay, I did it again, putting the snare on through right here. My brain just like is like, nope, that's a snare drum, not a bass drum. All right, cool. Let's do variation 4. We'll do it a couple of times, and then we'll get into some charts, And we're going to start at 100. Again, all these play-alongs, they're going through my headphone. You can't hear it. There's just a sync delay, and it would make it seem like everything was off, timing-wise. 1, 2, ready, and... So it's muted on your end because of that. Kept hitting my stick. And I played some wrong rhythms. No! It's so goofy. Again, don't start with this pattern. This is not a hard pattern. Start with like a basic like ding 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 ding, and then play long nose. Start with something like that. Don't do a straight over swung 3/4. It's not gonna go good. Just go back to the prior streams where I'm working on this. Under the tips and lessons, if you look at the prior live streams, you can see just how bad it was when I started this, 4 weeks ago, something like that? Okay. Progress, though. Progress. We're going into here, and now I'm going to read through some charts. Now, the permutations I was just doing, it gives you 2 attempts at each one of the measures before it moves on again, so it does a repeat on it. But the charts are simulating what it would be like being in like a big band, jazz band, etc. So what it's doing is it's got like the first line is just allowing you to vamp, play the ostinato, improvise, whatever you want to do for the first line. It's just recentering you at the start of each one of these charts before you actually start reading through this. So I'm going to play all of these as snare drums, and then anything longer than an eighth note I'm going to play as a bass drum. So this is a bass drum, this is a bass drum because it's tied together, the dotted, etc. All of those are bass drums. Only the eighth notes are on the snare. And so the way I'm doing this is the eighth notes are going to be swung, but the pattern again that I'm playing is a 3/4 straight feel in the hi-hat, playing a Soca. Okay, so we're going to do this at 100. 2, 1, 2, ready, and... Now, it's not going to sound good yet. But after I get through like 10, maybe 15, maybe 20 charts, it will hopefully actually start to feel comfortable. But right now, I can guarantee you I'm going to have myself quite a bit while reading through these charts. 2, ready, and... No! Told ya. No! Sorry, my mouse keeps moving. Woo! It'll get better if I don't drop my stick. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Better. Still doesn't sound good, but better. Each one of these charts is also going to be a different level of difficulty depending on what kind of pattern you're playing. Some of the charts will feel easier, some of them will feel harder. There's 55 of them, so just keep going through them. 1, 2, here we go. Ugh, dang it. Again, use this first line to like recenter yourself on the ostinato, or if you're comfortable with it, just improvise. Make up whatever you want. 1, 2, ready, and... No! Dang it. So either the hi-hat rhythm goes off or the shup goes away or whatever. So one of the things you can do is just like sit and play the shup like I am right now, the Soca pattern, and then maybe just play it on snare, and then once that gets comfortable, add in the bass. keep hitting my stick. Ooh, that was rough. So one of the reasons why I'm hitting my stick is because on the shup, I'm doing the shaft, the side of the stick, on it, and so it's like lowering it and it's hitting the stick while doing it, but cool. All right, so that was struggle busting my way through 1 through 5. So let's just go through the next set of charts. Since I'm in a playlist, I can just hit next and go to here, and because I'm playing at 100, I'll just go to the very beginning, but you can pick whatever BPM you want. If you know this pattern better than I do, cool. You can play it up to 240 if you go to a different set of charts. Whatever speed you want. Ready? And... so again, I'm training my brain to just like be able to process this and try and read through it as quickly as I can, instead of just sitting there with one measure looped 2 at a time, like the permutations. 1, 2, ready, and... hold on, let me adjust my hi-hat. My hi-hat feels like it's too open. That's too close. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and... no! Oh, no, it's so bad. Okay. Again, every chart's going to be different in terms of difficulty with whatever pattern you're working on. This one, the pattern is just like every single chart is difficult in a different way. 1, 2, ready, and... that had more time to like process it mentally, so I was able to like read ahead. Yay! Let's see how we do on chart number 9. 1, 2, 1, 2, Here we go. Dang it. Dang. One of the ways that you can also practice this is actually just sit here and just play the ostinato while you hear the play along, play everything while you read through it. That's another way to actually like train your brain to think of these rhythms. And then again, start with just snare drum and then incorporate bass. Ugh. Woo-wee. All right, so that's the first 10 charts. Let's do the next 5. We're going to go to the next set. I'm just going to hit next, again, because I'm in a playlist. And no, we're not going to play it at that speed. We're going to 100. Coffee, help me. Okay, I'm going to play through at least the next 5, maybe through the next 10. And again, I'm trying to train my brain to just like think faster while going through this. Getting too comfortable with playing like the permutations where it loops stuff, it makes it so that you don't have to just constantly be on the go with this. You can kind of like chill a little bit. And so sitting here and working on this is helping to make me process this faster. Now, when working on this, I'm trying to just play it as is. So I'm trying to play the snare drums on the 8th notes, anything longer than that on the bass drum. But if that is too difficult, what I could do is just take a couple steps back and again, just play the ostinato while reading through the patterns and hearing it in my headphones, the play-alongs of the snare and the bass drum playing it. And that is training my brain to be able to see the rhythms and hear what they're supposed to sound like with the ostinato going. And if that's comfortable, then add in just one limb. So in this case, the snare drum is my more comfortable limb because I'm a rudimental drummer, not a drum kit player. And then eventually adding in the second limb, so that way you have the full 4-way independence while doing this. What is happening right now is my bass drum is messing up my hi-hat foot with the... So it's not getting the shup as consistent as I'd like when I add the bass drum in. And so that's screwing it up. So I'm trying to just sit with that and trying to get better with it. So I'm sharing that just to show you, here's like what I'm trying to actively improve while doing this. But it's hard to narrate that out loud while attempting to play this. That would be 5-way independence on a pattern that I'm not good enough to do 5-way independence on yet. A 2, a 1, 2, here we go. One, two, 1, 2, ready, and... This is gonna annoy me. Sorry, I didn't flip my mouse over. Let me redo that. 1, 2, here we go. Better. I say with hesitation. We'll see how this next chart goes. Oh, 1, 2. Oh, 1, 2. Here we go. Ah! So difficult. Figuring out, like, is it on the second partial of the triplet? Is it on the third? On the release with the shup? Is it on the downbeat of the triplet? But which part is that in alignment with the 4? Because it's 3/4. Thank you for the like on the YouTube horizontal. Whew. Okay, I'm gonna do, this is the last chart for this particular one, and then I'll do the next set of 5. 20 charts seems like enough for my brain. I might melt by the end of it. 1, 2, ready, and... No! 3, 4. Okay. I can do it. If you're just tuning in, you're like, what are you doing? If you're on the vertical, it's this thing. If you're on the horizontal, it's this thing. So, the pattern I am struggle busting through is buckets, buckets, buckets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That is a 3/4 Soca hi-hat pattern. And it's straight. While I'm reading through these charts, swung. Snare drum on the 8th notes, anything longer on the bass drum. And it's so difficult. So for example, this lines up on bugga. This lines up in between buckets, boom, buckets, and then count 4 lines up on the second note of bugetta of it. So it's just like, where does all this line up? You know that meme with like the numbers like swirling through the head from what's the name of that movie? Is it A Beautiful Mind? The one about the math professor. I won't give any spoilers, but and there's people who are, you know, chasing after him. That's what it feels like when playing through this. So many calculations. Okay. Here we go. I'm stalling. Sorry. Remember to flip your mouse over, Jared. Okay, thanks. Here we go. Play. Ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the quarter note. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Woo! That's probably one of the hardest charts out of the 55. Because there's just one long continuous phrase that blurs over the meter. And when you're already doing a 3/4 pattern for the ostinato, ugh. 1, 2, it's difficult. 1, 2, ready, and... That was such an easier chart to read through compared to the first one. Yikes. Alright, chart number 18. After a brief respite, I can't talk. 1, 2, here we go. That was interesting. So it ended up on the release. The shup. The bass drum did of the second shup out of the 3. 1, 2, 2, ready, and all right, last chart. Huge progress. Still doesn't sound good, but huge progress. 1, 2, ready, and... We did it. We did it. Okay. Whew. That was difficult. A lot of fun, though. So, playing through those. Again, we're focusing on the stuff that I'm not good at yet. Overall, still needs a lot of work. But huge progress being made. Thank you for the reacts on YouTube. Which is the point of this. So in these practice streams, this is, as you can tell, me practicing stuff I'm not good at yet. What's the point of playing stuff you already know how to do? So because this journal keeps track of how I'm doing on all of these, I'm skipping all these 50 plus ones that I'm already good at, and I'm focusing on the ones that I'm not good at yet. The reason why I'm good at these is because I sat with them when they were not good. Now, this is a grind. If you go back, I think 3 weeks ago is when I first started learning this pattern, and I couldn't even play the basic ostinato because it's buckets, 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 that 3/4 Soca feel. Weird. And then attempting to play even just quarter notes, couldn't do it. But if you sit with it long enough and you follow the process that I outline in the second video of each of these limb independence playlists, so if you go to this first one, this one, how to develop limb independence on the kit, you'll see that I modeled this and demonstrated it on the kit. The first step that's outlined in here is just sitting there with the ostinato and trying to do some basic things, like just literally move one of your limbs around, draw stuff, whatever. I talk about it more in there. In step 2, you're going through and reading through these permutations, which you saw me actually use as a warm-up for this one when I was going through this. And I was trying to get my brain going with it, trying to get ready. And then you start going through some of the charts, and you can read through them and just sit there and loop measure if you want to. You can also just sit there and play the ostinato while you hear the play-along, play through it, while you read along with your eyes. Don't worry about playing it, just the ostinato. And then you can go into the next step, which is actually play through it. And then the next step after this, into the more advanced stuff, is to make it more musical. So right now I'm just attempting to play the rhythms on the page. But ideally I'd be able to add in some extra timbres, different textures, etc. Like changing where I'm playing on the different drums, or changing it so that it's flams or crush notes or whatever. Adding extra diddles. That makes it more musical rather than just playing the ink on the page. And then eventually what I want to be able to do is switch back and forth for each one of these lines. Like on this line, play one pattern. On this line, play a different pattern. So when I go back to here, I might be hey, let's do number 2 for the first line. And then, I don't know, number 38 for the next line. And then I'll just keep going back and forth between them. So to be able to jump back and forth between different types of limb independence patterns will make it so that when somebody hands you a chart or you're sitting down with a grip, you'll be able to just like pick it up and immediately start going. Thank you, Amy, for the sub on YouTube. Appreciate it. But all of these resources are available for free on my home tab. But if you go to the first link that's at the top of each one of these thousands of free play-alongs, this takes you to where everything is organized neater than I can do on YouTube. It's the same organization in terms of like the chop stuff is at the top. Underneath that is grid. But there's 80 chop exercises in here, even though it doesn't look like it. Like this one has 29 shopping sprees at the moment with more to come. This one has over 1,000 grid variations. I'd highly recommend focusing on like a rudiment on one and just sitting there with that, like flam drag on one for both triplet and 16th note. There's forward and backward variations of each one of these grids. There's also wackier ones like hurt to grid or tap only grid, etc. This is where I was practicing today, all this limb independence stuff. Again, every one of these links to how to develop limb independence on the drum kit. So check that out if you're not sure, well, how do you actually develop limb independence? And I say this as somebody who's a rudimental drummer who then also played concert percussion and has spent like less than 1% of my time on drum kit. The fact that I was able to learn over 50 ways to do limb independence over the last like year of doing these streams, it shows you that it's possible. All the steps in there. There's almost 500 marching bass drum stuff. There's some drumline cadences in score format. There's over 200 sight reading exercises, and they can get pretty difficult, you'll see. And then there's over 400 technique exercises. Just pick a playlist like, hey, I want to work on my flams. Cool. Well, there are how many flam exercises in here? 37 videos. So that'll keep you busy for a while. And then finally at the bottom is the tips and lessons. This is where there's all the scripted lessons, like why I think metronomes are overrated for drummers, why I practice like a beginner, even though I've been playing drums since 1998 and have a PhD in music education. And then this playlist has over 15 hours of drumming tips where I've answered questions during these office hours where I'm practicing. So if you have questions that you would like me to answer that I have not already answered in these prior drumming tips videos, feel free to ask it on a live stream or in any of my videos. I do respond to comments. Why, hello, my lover. Unless you're a troll. Then I just ban you to the void and you're never heard from again. But I'm going to call it here. If you enjoy these free resources, just share them with somebody else. The goal is to make all this stuff free. So if you see any of the 600 plus videos that are currently listed as members first, like this one, it's coming out for free. This one comes out on Friday. But it might be over a year from now. Like the sight reading stuff is coming out, I think, in November of 2026. Because I've got so many videos scheduled ahead. It's 99 cents if you want it. But again, you don't have to pay for it because it will come out for free. Every single one of them. I don't sell a course. I don't sell an app. I don't teach privately anymore. I don't sell a book. I don't sell, I don't know, whatever anybody else sells. My goal is to make this AdSense supported, and I currently make less than $1 a day on that. So I'm rolling in the dough. Anyways, I'm going to get ready for Silk Song, which we're starting with a boss, I think. I'm pretty sure I used the surgeon's key, and now I got to go fight some like unveiled or unraveled or I don't know, something. I'm probably going to get wrecked a lot. So if you want to see me get eaten by monsters, check out that stream. But I'm going to call it here. I hope you have a good rest of your day. If you enjoy the resources, share it. If you don't enjoy the resources, share it with an enemy. Goodbye.